So, can memory be primed and cause items to appear more truthful than they actually are? So, just to give you a quick outline of what we're going to be doing, I'm going to recap the study for you and kind of go over what we did and what our hypotheses were in a little bit more detail. Then we're going to talk about what autobiographical memory is. Have you guys talked about autobiographical memory yet? No? Okay, great. So you'll get to learn a little bit about that. We're going to go over what it means to prime memory, and then how both of these things relate to the study that you just participated in. So the photo study I just did. The basic question was, did statements presented with photos versus without photos appear more truthful? So here's a graph, and I know it looks a little complicated, but we're going to go over it step by step, so hopefully it'll make it more clear for you guys. So this graph is showing bias. So how likely are people to say true versus how likely are people to say false? So, for example, if you're giving money and you're spending a lot of money, like you're saying yes all the time to buying things, think of that like you're saying true all the time. So if someone was saying true all the time, then they're going to be on this end. They're going to be below 0, okay? If someone was being more conservative with their spending or saying true, for example, they're going to be above the line. So anything very low means that they're saying true a lot, and anything higher means that they're saying false a lot. Does that make sense? Any questions about that? Okay, so to give you a breakdown of what the bars mean, the pink and the blue bars are the times that people said true when the statement was presented with the photo. Can everyone see, by the way, too? Okay. The green and the orange are the times that people said true when the statement was presented without a photo. So, can anyone guess then what, this is a preliminary study, so a different study, but can anyone kind of summarize what happened in this study?
People are more likely to say true in this picture.
Right, exactly, which is what we were looking at in this study as well. So, these bars indicate that people, when they saw it with the photo, they were saying true more often, and when they saw the statement without a photo, they weren't saying true. They were more likely to be more cautious with their responding. So, why might this happen? That's what we're going to talk about today. So, before we go into exactly what happened, I'd like to just kind of step back and say, okay, well, first of all, what's autobiographical memory? Does anybody want to take a guess at what it is? Because you might be able to infer what it is based on the name. So, like an autobiography, or what does autobiographical mean?
About yourself.
Yeah, it's about you, right? Autobiographical memory is comprised of two constructs: episodic memory and semantic memory. So I kind of like to think of this as the C of your memories. So you have semantic, that's the S. Then you have episodic, that's the E. And autobiographical, that's the A, right? So I know it's kind of silly, but sometimes mnemonic things really help you remember ideas. So autobiographical memory, again, is comprised of episodic and semantic memory. So now, since you're all inquisitive and you probably want to know, well, what's episodic and semantic mean? What do those mean? So I'll tell you. So episodic memory is memory for a specific episode. So it's very easy to remember based on the name, right? So how do you remember memory for a specific episode that occurred at a specific time, with a specific person, that sort of a memory. So for example, if you recalled something like, this morning I went to Starbucks with my friend Bobby. That's a specific episodic memory, right? So it's memory for events experienced at a specific time or place, or with a specific person or object. Okay, so now let's talk about what semantic memory is. So semantic memory is not as intuitive to figure out, right? Because you don't have that nice cue for yourself, like episodic episode, an episode of memory. But semantic memory means factual knowledge for the world, or memory for meaning as well, split into two parts. So for example, going back to the Starbucks example, you could say Starbucks is a chain restaurant that serves coffee, right? That would be a fact about Starbucks. Or you might want to say Starbucks has coffee, and coffee is hot. And I drink coffee in the morning, and coffee wakes me up, or coffee makes me crazy, or right? So that would be a memory for meaning. So you have this like construct of Starbucks, and it's stored with all of these other meanings. So here's the definition. So factual knowledge about the world, or meaning and concept of words. Does anybody have any questions so far? Okay. So now I'm going to give you a series of statements, and I'd like you to try and guess if you think it's episodic or semantic memory. Okay? So last night we went to see Moneyball.
Episodic.
Episodic. Does everyone think it's episodic? You all so smart. Nice one. Okay, so here's another one. Brad Pitt is the lead actor in Moneyball. Who thinks it's semantic? Who thinks it's episodic? Semantic? Okay. You're right. Semantic. You guys are on a roll. Okay. An actor is a person who pretends to be someone they are not. Semantic. Yay. That would be like a conceptual meaning, right? That's memory for meaning. So that's semantic memory. Can you guys tell that I liked Moneyball? Because I did. You might because I did. So now, just to recap, so what do semantic memory and episodic memory comprise? What are they related to? Yes. Good job. You guys just learned what autobiographical memory is. Great job. Okay, so now we're going to do an experiment. Yay! Aren't you excited? I promise you it's fun, and it's only going to last for a few minutes. So what you're going to do is follow these instructions. You're going to read each word silently and try to remember as many words as possible. You're going to be tested in the next phase. Promise it's not long. Okay? You guys ready?